Well, good evening ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SimSpeed TV. My name is Scotty Fountain and I'll be your host for this evening's event, and tonight we bring you coverage for round 6 of the Oceanic Sim Racing V8 Supercar Series. And tonight we are coming to you from a magnificent small little track known as Oran Park, and we're running on the Grand Prix circuit tonight. We've been treated to some great racing in the previous 5 rounds of the series, and the dominant driver at this stage is Joshua Rogers. He's taken out 5 of the 6 events so far. Joining me in the commentary box tonight, I have 4 guys, in which they are regulars on the SimSpeed TV commentary box. And the first of our drivers is Clayton Brooks. How you going, Brooksy?
Yeah, good, thanks, Fonny. Great to be here tonight, mate.
Yeah, thanks for joining us again. And I'd like to make a public thank you to all of these 4 guys for committing to me for this Oceanic Sim Racing series. They've put in time, which I certainly appreciate, so thank you. The second of our commentators for tonight, that is Luke Emerton. How you going, Luke?
Yeah, good, Fonty, and hello to everyone else. How are we this evening?
Yeah, it's good to have you along, mate. The third of our commentators, and that's Josh Nowak. How you going, Josh?
Yeah, good, thank you, Fonty.
Yeah, well, we've certainly been treated to some great racing up until now. What do you reckon, boys?
We certainly have, mate. Certainly didn't disappoint last week at Bathurst. Another Aussie track, even though it's no longer there, always provided great racing in real life, and it has on the iRacing service. It was a pretty privilege to be able to race this track. As I just mentioned, it's no longer there, and yeah, really looking forward to what tonight's races are going to show.
Yeah, well, I did the development series race last night. Thought I'd jump in and have a skid for the first time in a little while. And yeah, it was great to get out there in this car. It's such a it's a technical little track. You really need to be so easy on the throttle coming through the last few turns, and just to make sure it doesn't sort of snap out on you. Yeah, through turns 9, 10 and 11, they're quite a difficult series of corners. Have you guys had any chance to do any laps in the V8 around here yet?
Nah, not recently, mate. Long time ago, but I'm interested to know how you went in your race, mate. Did do all right, or?
Yeah, well, I did actually, mate. I jumped in with about 10 minutes to go. Didn't do any qualifying and started off dead last in 18th, and managed to run through the field to win the race by about 6 seconds, which, yeah, I was pretty stoked about, considering I haven't really done too many laps in the last little while. So,
hey, still got it. Not bad, mate.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I'd like to be out there a bit more. I certainly plan to run at least the first round of the Premier Series coming up in about a month's time. So, yeah, it should be good, mate. It was good to have a skid. How about you, Luke, mate? Have you had a chance to cut any laps around this fine little 2.6 kilometre long circuit?
Oh, not since last season, mate. But your last announcement makes me wish that I had run last night. Had a few commitments again last night, so I couldn't run Dev Series. But yeah, it is a technical little track. From what I've been hearing, the fix setup in the Dev Series wasn't too bad, but the track is still very slippery with all the new updates that we've had for tracks, etc. This will be the first time the boys have been out with dynamic tracks, etc. on this circuit. And but always a favourite, massive field tonight. We've got 3 servers open with a bit over 50 cars registered, so we'll see how that turns out once the top split pans out.
Yeah, well, we'll just jump into the race preview. And so, beautiful little circuit based in Australia. As Brooksy was covering before, it's no longer available for people to drive in real life, but we were lucky enough to get it to iRacing before it was officially closed. 115 metres above sea level, we have a 50 km/h pit lane speed limit, 2.6 Ks in length, and a total of 12 turns. Tonight's race is going to be a 55 lap race, in which last night's Dev Series race was a 40 lap race, so was certainly difficult with 40 laps around here, so I'd hate to be these guys running 55 laps. It'll certainly be interesting to see how the tyres hold out. The last of our race preview, in the qualifying server here, the sky is clear. We've got an air temperature of 27 degrees, a track temp of 42, and 65% humidity with 0% fog, 24.3 km/h wind speed, and that will wrap up our race preview for tonight. So if we look at the moment for qualifying, we have Ian Ford fastest on track, followed by Joshua Rogers, Kane Kugamia in third, George Maris in fourth, Mitchell Selak in fifth, Kurt Stenberg in sixth, seventh is Lee Ellis, Matt Morris sitting in eighth, Jake Blackhall in ninth, and Jake Maloney running out your top 10. Then we've got Benjamin Smith sitting in 11th, Tyson Williams in 12th, Michael Ford in 13th, Sean Evans in 14th, and Marty Atkins rounding out your top 15.
And I've just having a look in the chat there. It looks like Jake Maloney and Lee Ellis will be starting from pit lane tonight. Of course, Jake Maloney started from pit lane last week and went okay until he ran into some dramas. So, not sure the reasoning behind that, but good luck to the guys.
Yeah, well, it certainly gives you a bit of practice starting from pit lane, especially if you've got a bit of speed to get up through the traffic. I quite enjoyed last night's race, starting from 18th and fighting my way through the field. So yeah, I can see why these guys are doing that. Premier Series is coming up soon, so give them a good opportunity to get amongst some of the guys that they'll be racing with in that series.
Yeah, you'd be surprised the amount of overtaking opportunities around this tight little circuit. There's quite a few, mainly into turn one. Everyone seems to love dive bombing up on that kink. That'll be a big place for action tonight, and also coming through 3 and 4, that back section there just before the bridge. A lot of opportunities to overtake there, and also into 7 and 8 up through the back there, coming onto the main straight. But the big thing here is to watch the exit on the final turn and not to run into that pit wall and then try and get a run on someone down into the first corner there at the kink. We normally see fairly heated arguments over overtaking moves, and a lot of people running wide off into the fence there if you take the wrong line. So with the track as it is tonight, definitely look out for those marbles if anyone gets on the outside.
Yeah, well, you're exactly right. It is such a tight little circuit, and you need to really be committed into making a move here. The corners sort of cut away on you quite fast, so you need to I think the best passing opportunity, in which I found last night, was basically into turn 2, which worked for me quite well. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where these guys go. I think Kurt Stenberg last week had a great race at Bathurst. He drove really well, so we'll keep an eye on him. Joshua Rogers has had great form all season, as we know, and Ian Ford is closing the gap. He gave him a good run for his money last week until he clobbered the wall and just managed to limp it home in second. We saw a bold move last week from Bo Cattell, and he only just managed to make it home, dragging it across the line, running out of fuel. And Kane Kugamia, he finished in 4th. Michael Cracknell finished a little bit further back, and he finished in 5th, and Adam Zittinger finished in 6th. Michael Harrison 7th, Ryan O'Sullivan in 8th, Forzin Al Nabi in 9th, and Greg Sharp rounded out your top 10 for last week's races.
There's definitely going to be some good battles again tonight. around this circuit. There's been a bit of controversy in a few of the other official series races between a few drivers. Not going to name any names, but it should make for some good battles out here. A lot of guys out there ready to prove a point, and it seems like the OSR series here is a good place to prove that point, as we've seen a lot of good battles between these top drivers that also continue on into official races and hopefully into the Premier Series later on.
Yeah, I just saw a lot of jostling positions in qualifying as it's just wrapping up now. It looked like there was a few heated little exchanges just in qualifying then, so there's going to be plenty of red mist going on in the race, I think.
Yeah, it definitely makes for some good racing as long as the boys keep it to a certain behavioural level. I don't think the officials will see too much drama, is it? As they say, rubbing is racing. So yeah, as long as it's not smashing and bashing, because definitely that's not racing. But we'll see how we go.
Yeah, so as we look at the qualifying results for this server, as the guys were touching on earlier, we've got 3 servers up, so this won't be the official top 10 qualifying, but these front guys that we've got in our server here are certainly the front bunch that we follow, so it's quite likely that Ian Ford will be on 1, Joshua Rogers will be on 2, Kagan Kugamia will be on 3, George Maris on 4, Mitchell Selak on 5, Kurt Stenberg in 6, Lee Ellis in 7th, Benjamin Smith in 8th, Matt Morris in 9th, and Jake Blackhall in 10th. So if anyone is keen on getting involved in the Oceanic Sim Racing series, you'll be able to find all the information on the iRacing forums. So there's plenty there, just need to sign up and apply for the league. And yeah, anyone can come racing, and it's a good bit of fun. We didn't see you boys out there in the development race last night. What happened there, guys?
I'm not allowed to race in it. Someone won't let me.
He's got the band hammer out.
I have asked, but he won't let me.
Yeah, well, that's certainly a good little series if you want to start off in iRacing, running the V8 Supercar. It's a good stepping stone to this series and the Premier Series.
Yeah, a lot of people ask me where can I go and drive the V8. Like, you know, my license is like, you know, at that level now where I can drive the V8 Supercar, but I don't want to drive an official because I'm worried about, you know, iRating, etc. And definitely the OSR series I found was best when I was first starting off. It's been around for a little bit now, and as you say, good stepping stone to work your way up into getting confident enough to run official series, and then obviously this series on a Wednesday night, run at the same times, so, and like as you say, a little bit less laps, and fixed setup for everyone, so they don't have to worry about trolling forums for sets. It's all about driver ability, and normally you can find some people to give you a helping hand if anyone needs any.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and as you touched on, the official series racing in the V8 is quite competitive. You've generally only got a couple of opportunities a week to run with the top guys in the V8 Supercar. I personally ran the Skip Barber car to gain the R rating that I have done so far, and I certainly found that that was a great little series to learn about running iRacing and understanding the feel of sort of what the cars do in iRacing, and then sort of stepped into a V8. And yeah, they're certainly a bit of a handful to drive at times.
Yeah, so if you can drive a Skippy when you're first starting off in iRacing, you're doing pretty well. Even now I'm I struggle every now and then with the skip barber, even working on Formula Fords every day. But yeah, I did mine in the MX-5 there, and that's another good little series. That car can also be a bit painful at times to drive, but the new one has been released, I believe, soon or next build. I think they're bringing out the new MX-5, so that should be excellent to see that out on track for all the new guys coming into the series. And even now, even some pros still run that. Good fun series, and there's always races for MX-5s. Nearly every single one goes official. So yeah, definitely good license builder, that one.
Yeah, and as you were touching on there, for the race to go official, needs to be a certain number of drivers in the race for it to go official, and for there to be iRating up for grabs. So yeah, run either the Skip Barber or the Mazda MX-5, both good little classes to get into iRacing and teach you a lot about racecrafts and sort of how the car will go off over a race, and then you can make your stepping stone up to likes of the V8 Supercar series or the endurance series for the GT3 classes. That's also another good little class to go and run.
Yeah, the Blackpan Sprint series, I believe, and is not too bad as well. I don't mind running GT3 every now and then, even though license now is at A, like most people have been around for a few years. But yeah, still I like running the lower ones at C and D more so than the higher ranked ones.
Yeah, so plenty of great series in iRacing to get involved with.
Roof Cup's another great series if you're wanting to give the V8s a go. The car takes a bit to get used to, but the handling, once you can handle that car, I think there's not really any other car that's more difficult on the server to race. So once you get that car up to speed, you should be fine to jump into any other car and take maybe an hour of practice, and you'll be up back where you were in other series.
Yeah, definitely the rougher, good enjoyable car to drive, and again, does take a bit of skill to get used to, but yeah, definitely a good series and seems pretty popular amongst the European servers and American servers, and I'm not sure when the Aussie servers go official on those, but yeah, they are a good stepping stone as well.
Yes, well, that will round out our qualifying coverage. We will take a quick little break. It will be around about 8 minutes long, in which we'll leave you with some clips to watch, and we'll be back with you soon for the coverage of the race. 55 laps around this 2.6 kilometre long Oran Park Grand Prix circuit, and I'm sure we will be in for a treat tonight. So thank you for watching SimSpeed TV's coverage of the Oceanic Sim Racing V8 Supercar Series, and we'll be back with you soon.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
I'm Dan Garrison, software engineer at iRacing. Since the beginning of Papyrus and through iRacing, the track has been unchanging through a session. Whatever you have at the beginning is what you have for the duration of the session and the end. The track doesn't change. What we want to do is be able to have the track respond to what's going on, to have cars interact with the track, to have the track change in temperature, in the amount of rubber. We want marbles, and we want those to be generated by the cars, putting them where they should be and picking them up and rethrowing them off the race line. It's a physical-based model that we focus on first and foremost. The tire and the track interaction, what's really going on there. It would be easy to just quickly throw something together. Our standards are it needs to make sense. What's really going on, even at the molecular level between the track and the tire. The way the track works, essentially, is we divide it up into small cells that your car interacts with. So if you're adding temperature to a certain part of the track, we can pretty accurately know exactly where that is. That gets transmitted to the server. So if I'm in a race, my data is going to the server with everybody else in the session. The server accumulates that and basically broadcasts a consistent track state to everyone, so everyone's got the same track that they're racing on. One of the big challenges was being able to implement this dynamic track with any number of clients connected and have it just work as you would expect. Have it be the same for everyone in the service who's in a session. So to kind of give a little bit of a preview of the state of things right now, I basically have run a number of laps at 5 flags with the effects exaggerated for demonstration purposes so that we can kind of immediately see what's going on with the track. Right here is basically the track at the beginning of the session. There is a little bit of rubber on there that's put programmatically. That's the starting state of this track, and it's fairly low rubber at this point. If we skip ahead to the end, I did about 30 laps, so at the very end you can kind of see all this darkened in right here. This is where I was running the car, so well, there you go. And again, this is exaggerated. A single car in 30 laps is not going to darken the track anywhere near this level. We also have the ability to see the temperature, similar to an IR camera. At the beginning of the session, it's a little bit warm down here. It's very cool up here. As we skip ahead, all of a sudden this part of the track has become very warm. This is where I was running the car. And you can also drag the little thumbnail and see the effect of time as the track cools off and returns back to its equilibrium state. Before we had fairly symmetrical tracks. Now, because the sun is shining at some angle, one side of the track might be particularly hot, and 180 degrees around the track is going to be significantly cooler because the sun isn't really pointing at that. So you're on a track where maybe you basically treated it as 2 equal halves. Now you need to adjust to that. With multiple cars over a long race, you're going to have to seek out where's the grip, where is it going, how is the track changing. It's going to require a much more intelligent approach to racing. You're going to have to be able to handle the track through the life of the race. So in addition to temperature and rubber, we're also spending a lot of time working with marbles, putting them on the track where they should be. Later in a race, you can expect there to be marbles offline, and so a pass might be a little more sketchy later in the race because you're going to have to go through part of the track that has accumulated some rubber. On the oval side, if you want to venture out into, say, the outside line and nobody's been there yet, you can expect to find marbles there. I expect that the track becoming dynamic means that during a race, temperature is going to go up significantly and the grip is going to respond negatively. You will want to be anticipating that, seeking out cooler parts of the track, taking a slightly higher line for a while, testing out, is it faster up here? I fully expect it's going to break up the field. Cars are going to be trying new things. You won't be able to just take a qualifying setup and make a tiny change and then be able to run the same laps over and over. It's going to just become a much more dynamic and unpredictable experience. As significant as this first implementation is in creating a dynamic environment, it's really kind of just sets the foundation for even bigger and better things. We'll be able to handle day-night transitions and a moving sun and clouds coming in and have the track respond to that. We can look down the road and say, well, we'll want to do rain and have water on the track and have it move and have it dry according to where the tires are and how much temperature is there and how much is the sun shining. All these things that happen in a real race, we want to model them, and we are.
Well, good evening and welcome back to tonight's coverage of the Oceanic Sim Racing V8 Supercar Series. And tonight we're coming to you from a amazing little track in which it's known as Oran Park, and we have 55 laps around this track tonight. We've got 40 seconds left in this warm-up session before we get into the racing. What are your guys' predictions for tonight's race?
Well, it's a hard one, mate. Ian Ford's looking very strong, so it'd be hard to go past if you can get that early lead over the other guys. But I'm going to go Kane Kugameya for the win. I think he's due.
Ooh, an outsider. I like it.
Yeah, mate.
I'm going to flip a coin between Ian Ford and Josh. I think that's going to be a big battle to watch tonight. But as you say, if those two get in each other's way a bit tonight, yeah, Kane's got definitely a good chance.
I think I'm going to go for George Maris. He seems to be a bit new to the series. I haven't seen him racing it before, and he's done a pretty good job in qualifying.
Yes.
I can tell you, George is a very, very talented driver on any car on the sim. He's a part of the ANZ group, but he doesn't get on much these days, and he's definitely one to watch.
Yes, as we quickly run through the top 10, we've got Ian Ford on pole, Bo Cubis on 2, Joshua Rogers on 3, Kugameya on 4, Michael Cracknell on 5, Jason Dixon on 6, Mitchell Selleck on 7th, Adam Zittinger on 8th, Kurt Stenberg on 9th, Ryan O'Sullivan in 10th.
Having a look, it looks like Maris hasn't been able to take the grid, so he won't be racing, I don't think, guys.
Yes, so as
I might have
the
to-
lights go on, engines rise. And we are underway for 55 laps around Oran Park Grand Prix circuit, and what a start from Rogers off P3,
Yeah.
and he's up to the lead already. Great off, what a start from him. Ian Ford sitting back in second, and Bo Cubis in 3, running the Shell Helix livery tonight. Looks quite cool. And Kugameya in 4th. So what a start from Rogers.
Oh, that was absolutely outstanding start. He absolutely blitzed them straight. He split Cubis and Ford straight up the middle, and they had no answer for him by turn 1.
Yeah, well, we'll just go back and have a look at the start from his onboard footage. Well, you can't ask for much better than that.
Just having a look back in the pack here. Jake Blackwell's got a lot of pressure there, fighting for around 14th position. Ryan O'Sullivan and Matt Morris have got 3 wide heading in the last corner of the first lap. Now looks like Williams has got to run on Morris down the inside into turn 1. He's
You're a
still
little bit
there
of
at turn
contact
2.
there. Rubbing's
Plus now
racing.
Morris has got the preferred line. He's got a couple of right-handers. He's got the inside line for these. Oh, and there's a simulator, another simulator car right up the inside. Jason Bentz, very opportunistic move for him.
Yes.
Yeah, nearly ran into his teammate there going around Williams.
Yeah, saw the opportunity and took it. Great little move, so...
I don't think Benson and Morris are teammates. I think one's from Lit and the other one's Angry Birds Racing. I think they're just running the same sponsor. Good coverage for Simulate It, though.
It
Yes.
definitely is. Another simulated car, the Angry Birds of Michael Hammond, just made a position over Mitchell Cialik, I think it is. He's dropped way back down in the field.
Yeah, so Matt Morris, he runs for Lit Oz NZ, and Jason Bentz runs for ABR Team Simulator.
Mitchell Cialak's ping's gone up pretty high. Is around 733 right now, and he might do C from the server again.
Yeah, it looks like also we've got the boys in blue out racing tonight. Adam Zittinger in car number 24 in position 10, keeping an eye on the boys and making sure they're behaving themselves.
Yeah, good to see we've got through the first few laps with no major incidents. Gap starting to form across the field. Good little bunch up from sort of 15th back to sort of 24th. We had Jake Maloney, who he started from pit lane, I believe. He's sitting a little bit further back in 30th position, so bit of a gap to the car in front of him. Maybe he got held up, not too sure. But as we look up the front now, we've got Rogers holding his lead after his amazing start. Ian Ford sitting in second, Bo Cubis in third, Kane Kugamia in fifth, Michael Cracknell, Kugamia in fourth, Michael Cracknell in fifth, Michael Hammond in sixth, Jason Dixon in seventh, Kurt Stenberg sitting in eighth, Benjamin Smith in ninth, and Adam Zittinger in 10th.
Yeah, unfortunately it looks like Michael Cialik has received a really bad internet connection there and has been disconnected from the server, so really unfortunate for him tonight. It's unlucky. Those mechanical gremlins for a few of the teams keep coming up with internet issues lately.
Yeah, his teammate Kane Kugamea, he's suffering from the exact same thing, very high ping at the moment. Currently sitting in 4th position.
Yeah, and definitely Josh not getting away as he normally does around this circuit with Ian Ford there keeping right on his tail, and a good little battle there between the top couple of positions. Also behind him there in the shell car as well, running the special livery. They're keeping up and making sure Josh is not getting it all his way tonight.
Oh, there's quite a large battle going on back in for position 22nd with Simon Black, host of the series, and Joshua Cook. And it looks like Matty Jones and Jeremiah Morton.
Yes, and Simon Black kindly putting SimSpeed TV on his car to show the support for my channel. So thank you to Simon Black for that. Matt Morris on the back of Benjamin Smith. Adam Zittinger, he's just in front of them in 9th, with a bit of a gap in front of him to Kurt Stenberg. Kurt showed us an amazing drive last week at Bathurst, I think, and yeah, he fell off the track and still managed to claw his way up and finish quite well. and he's sitting in 4th in the championship at the moment. So a few gaps starting to open up with all of these guys.
Yeah, just an update on Mitchell Cielak. He's managed to join back into the server and is currently running in 33rd, so looking to work his way back up through the field. He's normally got some pretty good pace, so a little bit frustrating for him, but good to see he's reconnected and hopefully his internet holds out for the rest of the race.
Yeah, and that's just one of the gremlins we have to deal with some racing. Some of us don't have too great a connections, and it can often end your race. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I just got Jake Maloney coming into the pits for an unscheduled pit stop. Car doesn't look damaged at all, and he's a bit swerving all over the place. Maybe he's got some wheel issues or something, not sure.
Yeah, or possibly he's made a cut and he's got a black, so we'll have to see where he's made it to as he stopped in pit lane, so he's out.
Yeah, only a short stop he's going again, but then he's stopped and going and stopped and going. Not sure. He's got Lee Ellis in front of him, which Lee Ellis he's waited for him, and Ellis has gone out in front of him, and a big group of traffic just near him as well. It's going to make it interesting here as they rejoin and right into the middle of a battle there.
Oh, there's a touch. Kane Kamiya nearly got spun by looks like Michael Hammond.
Oh.
Does it go side by side?
Yeah, Kamiya was still a couple of internet connection issues, but yeah, a little bit frustrated over radio, but
yeah, so as drivers come up to complete lap 8, and we've got Rogers in first, followed closely behind by Ian Ford in second, Bo Cubis in third. It'll be interesting to see how these guys shuffle, who makes a stop early, tries to get a jump on. Guessing they'll probably pit around lap sort of 25, 30. And this track certainly gives us some great racing, so it'll be interesting to see how these guys all work it out, how much fuel they take.
Definitely a great battle on up at the front. You can't rule out Bo Cubis. He's doing a great job to stay in touch with Ford and Rogers at the moment.
Yeah, he certainly is, Brooksy. We haven't seen Bo in the Oceanic Sim Racing via Supercar Series for this season, so good to see him out there having a crack at it, getting some seat time before Prem Series. Car looking great in the Shell Helix sponsored livery.
yeah, we got a massive battle back here for 19th with Tyson Williams under a hell of a lot of pressure from Thomas and Jeremiah Morton. There's about 4 or 5 cars that are chopping and changing, just coming onto the main straight now. A few bits of damage here and there.
Big moment for Jeremiah Morton there as he comes on the front straight. Jumped on the gas a little bit early.
Last lap, Anthony Koenig was part of this battle pack, but he must have got spun at the last corner and his car was too damaged to continue, and he looks like he's escaped back to pits.
So Matt Jones sitting there in 22nd, part of the Performance Motorsports crew. Car looking good with the Henlink Industry sponsorship on the side. Good colour choice from these guys. Sean Evans sitting quite alone there on the track in 16th. He's part of the Evolution Racing Australia, and we've seen him a regular for this season.
And just back up the front, Monty, these top three blokes have absolutely closed in. There's nothing between them now, coming up over the bridge and into the little complicated back section of the track here, where you can come unstuck or get a cut track very easily. As Ford might have a look at Rogers possibly into the last corner or get a run onto him on the straight there.
And Bo Cubis just sitting back there, waiting for his move to be made. We've seen Ian Ford take reasonably early stops in comparison to Rogers in previous rounds, so will he do that again this week?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't do the race last night, as I said earlier, but a lot of the drivers were complaining that the car was feeling really bad near the end of the stint, so I don't think you'd want to try and run, like, say, 3/4 of a race on one set around here, with the tyre temps and everything getting up towards the top end of the scale. So, yeah, I would say they're mostly going to come in around, as you say, halfway, maybe about 20, 25, depending on how much fuel they've been given.
So Ford all over the back of Rogers. Just waiting for a gap to open up. Rogers to make a mistake. We haven't seen many mistakes made by Rogers at all this season. It's an excellent run coming onto the front straight. Just take a lap with Bo Cubis around the Oran Park Grand Prix circuit. So sit along and enjoy the ride. There was a lap around the Oran Park Grand Prix circuit. On board with Bo Cubis. A 1 minute 8.35. A tidy lap at that. He's right on the back of Ian Ford and Joshua Rogers. Certainly a good driver in the Premier Series last year. Sits around the sort of 5th, 6th, 7th mark, but has certainly all the potential to win races. So this bunch starting to pack up here from 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th. We've got Kurt Stenberg, Adam Zittinger, Benjamin Smith, Matt Morris, Ryan O'Sullivan and Jake Blackhall. They're from 8th to 13th. Good to see everyone keeping it clean out there on the track as they just complete lap 14 of the race. So still 40 laps to go.
Yeah, 40 laps to go, and there's still only less than a second covering these top three cars. Ian Ford's just showing Rogers. I'm wondering if he's thinking he might get the job done in pit lane and just stay there for a little while.
Yeah, Rogers having a good run onto the straight. We saw a few laps back. So hard for Ford to make a move. He's lining up any opportunity he can, but Rogers not really making any mistakes. Ford having a look into turn 2, but not quite getting it done, and Bo Cubis sitting comfortably there in third. So can we see Rogers get beaten tonight? Ford's been hunting for a victory. He hasn't had one in the series yet.
Yeah, it's been a while between drinks for Ford, and he had a look there into 3, but thought better of it. Didn't want to get the nose taken off that ERA Maverick Falcon there. So, sorry, Commodore. So yeah, I think he might look to do it if he just keeps enough pressure on him. And same with Cubis, and they might just try and do it in the pit stops. Maybe go for an undercut, or yeah, see how we go.
Yeah, and Rogers having a slightly better run onto the front straight than what Ford's having.
I'll tell you what, this is one of the only tracks I reckon it's the most important run is out of that last corner on Oran Park. It's uphill and off camber and really hard to get right, but definitely is a huge factor by the time you get down to the end of the straight compared to a lot of other tracks in their last kind of corners.
So a nice little battle going back here for 29th, 28th, 27th. Marty Atkins, Simon Tennant, Brian Borg. Marty Atkins running for the Oceanic Sim Racing team. And he's certainly one of the figures behind all the action at Oceanic Sim Racing for bringing these cool series to you. Between himself, oh, big moment there for Simon Tennant. Marty Atkins making his way through.
It looks like Josh has just opened up a bit of a gap that lap, and looks like EM4 might be under a bit of a pressure here from Cubis behind him. Cubis has got a good run, but a little bit too far back to have a look into 1, but he might have a look into 2 and 3 here as they push out under the bridge as a famous figure 8 here at Oran Park.
As Kane Kugamir just makes a pass. Kurt Stenberg's moved his way up to 7th. Nice little battle forming behind him. Matt Jones pulls into the pit. No rear wing or boot lid on his car.
He's got the Kane Aero package running tonight around here by the look of it then. Made famous a couple of weeks ago for those viewers that didn't see it, and Kane ran 3/4 of the race with no rear splitter around that high speed circuit, and managed to still set fairly quick times. So yeah, obviously not too much of a hamper on these V8 supercars to have that rear splitter missing.
Yeah, I think especially on a long track like it was, which was Spa, and that he had that advantage. It certainly was faster. He did fix his car when he went to the pit lane, but certainly didn't slow him up at all early on in the race. Bo Cubis putting a lot of pressure on Ian Ford. Ford's car looked to have gone off just a tad. Rogers has made a gap, so we're 20 laps through 55, not far away from halfway race distance. But Cubis all over the back of Ford now. Oh, as Cubis makes his pit stop, so he's done an early stop. So can this work out for him?
Yeah, well, with such a short lap around here, pit lane time is critical to try and keep ahead of being a lap down. Not so much a bad thing for the couple of guys up front, but when you're stuck at mid-pack, you don't really want to try and avoid getting a lap down here. And also the pit entry, a few guys saying that they're getting pit speed lane entry penalties, which is very easy around this track with only a 50k entry, and you're pretty much coming flat stick out of that last turn to get in there.
Another thing to watch is people exiting the pits and coming back onto the racing track in front of people at full speed, as we've already had one crash with Jason Bentz hitting the back of Brian Borg. Unfortunately we missed that, but unfortunately both Angry Birds racing cars are now out as Brian exits the pits and right into the front of Jason.
What Bo Cubis has done, he's got a massive gap here. He's got heaps of clean air. He's a good 2 or 3 corners away from Ryan O'Sullivan, who's up in front. He's actually timed that stop perfectly to try this undercut.
Yeah, well, it was certainly a very short stop, I thought. But unfortunately, we don't have the overlay available to show the pit time. It's not working, so unable to get that.
I've got 10 seconds for Bo Cubis in the stop. The other guys have been taking around 11 or 12 seconds, but now Rogers and Ford are in.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they've reacted immediately to Cubis.
Yeah, so everyone's starting to file through into pit lane here now.
Oh,
wow,
Cubis may get this. Because both their pits, yeah, Cubis has got this. Ford's 1 second quicker than Rogers. Rogers 12 seconds in the pit stops. 2 seconds has cost him dearly.
Wow, that's certainly an interesting thing to happen. We've got Rogers who's all over the back of Ford. He's going to want to make a move early to not let Bo run away with this, but Ford isn't going to give up easily.
Tell you what, the other thing too that hampered those two guys is that they came into the pits at the same time, and as I was saying before, Josh has another big moment coming around there, and they hampered each other's entries and also exit. Ford had a shocking angle on that exit as well, being the very first pit box is like almost up against the wall, so yeah, it does slow him up, whereas Cubis had a decent run, and also, as you said, come out in nice clean air, and he's starting to run away from these two now, which are on colder tyres, obviously being a lap less.
Yes. So the gap between Ford and Cubis is 1.3. He is slightly gaining on him. So they have got over another half race distance still to go, and some. They've got 32 laps still to go, and they've pitted on lap 23, so I think we can expect to see some pretty worn out tyres at the end of this race.
Michael Cracknell's in the pits now.
So Cracknell, he was sitting in 5th before he took to pit lane.
Hammond's continued on.
Also, Jake Blackhall has just pitted in as well for his scheduled stop.
Yes, and this gap between Ford and Cubis is closing. It's down to 0.9 now. Rogers following very close behind in 6th position.
Yeah, as we saw from Rogers first, in track position's pretty well key around here. Bo Cubis, he's in the box seat to win this at the moment. If he can keep hitting clean apexes and getting off the corner good, the other guys are going to struggle to find a way past.
I just saw a flash of someone go off back in the pack underneath the Yokohama bridge there. I didn't quite catch who it was, but some sort of accident there.
Sean Evans. He's had an off. Car looks to be reasonably straight. Possibly a little bit of damage on the front right. We'll just go back and have a look and see what happened there.
Yeah, to me, he just flashed across the screen and then veered off under the bridge somewhere. So yeah, he must have got lucky there. There is a slight gap in the fence where the figure 8 goes.
Big moment for Sean Evans. Looked to not hit too much. Went through the gap in the tyres just after the bridge. But big moment there. Jumped on the gas far too early.
Michael Hammond's still not pitted and he's running 1089s, and Bo Cubis, who is the first of the pitted drivers, has running 1075s, so he's losing 1.4 seconds a lap. That's quite a lot. Don't know whether his strategy will pay off.
Wow, Sean Evans did get lucky on that replay I just saw then. Yeah, you're right, he did manage to get that gap I was talking about and just clip the rear of the car, so...
Yeah, well, we just rode on board with him as he made it through that gap. He would have thought to himself, oh god, I'm going to hit those tyres, but no, he's managed to go through. He has clipped the tyres slightly. The car definitely looks damaged, so his race chances of a good finish are certainly over. But he will be able to go back to the pits and repair his car.
Yeah, very easy to do around there.
So we go back live now. Take a look, and Ford is all over the back of Bo Cubis. He's made a little bit of a gap to Rogers. Rogers probably just conserving his tyres slightly. And there is still a lot of race distance to cover. Ford being quite aggressive. Sorry, mate.
No, you're right. I was going to say this is one of Ford's best opportunities he's going to have, I think, is if he can get out in front of Cubis there, then he might be able to run away from Josh, because I think if he did make that move, Josh should start putting the hammer down, I think.
Michael Hammond's in the pits.
There's a big crash in front of him, one of the Simworks cars there going off.
I think
two of them, actually.
Williams,
and Mitchell Sialek as well. Mitchell Sialek in the wall as well there.
So Bo Cubis getting a good run onto the straight. It is really important around here. Ford not close enough to make a passing move, but he's going to have a look up the inside. They're just catching lap traffic in front of them. One of the Plus Fitness cars.
Yeah, this is going to be it somewhere down here. As he looks for a dive, and he did that to Rogers as well earlier on in the race. Stuck the nose in, but that hampers your run out of there, and that lap car just blocking Rogers.
Oh, contact! We've got contact between Ford and Rogers. Just might take a quick look back there. See. There was a little bit of a gap sort of left.
Yeah, I thought Rogers might have been hampered there with that lap car on the inside, but he did well to stick right in behind Ford until the last minute. But yeah, it's slight gap. I don't think he was up far enough, but the guys seem to sort it out. Obviously hasn't given that position back, but you know, you're not obliged to. It can be classed as a racing incident. So
yeah, well, rubbing is racing, and Ford looking up the inside of Joshua Rogers. Guessing he'll be a little bit frustrated at that. He certainly had the pace to get past Bo Cubis, so maybe a aggressive approach from this point. We've got a 1.7 second gap between Cubis and Rogers at the moment. Benjamin Smith, who's sitting in first at the moment. He hasn't made his pit stop.
As Cubis actually has got the biggest lead that anyone's had for the whole race. Just over 1.5 seconds. I think that's the most any of these top 3 cars have been separated by.
Yeah, that little altercation there gave him a bit of a chance to run away a little bit and build that gap. He'll be rubbing his hands together, seeing that battle going on behind him.
Yes, and as we look at the fight for 9th and 10th, got Kurt Stenberg and Matt Morris. These guys have been pretty inseparable over the series so far. Morris looking very racy there behind Stenberg. Good to see these guys still continuing their battle. Generally find that in iRacing, if you run a series with some regular guys, you'll find that often you'll run with the same guys until you sort of progress and find a bit more speed.
Yeah, that's it. Along with not just in hosted but official races as well, you'll definitely find some good competitors in around your times, and yeah, good way to make friends as well if you keep having good battles and respect each other. And yeah, definitely another good part of iRacing's community.
Yeah, well, you're exactly right, and I'm pleased you touched on that subject. I certainly have met a lot of great people since starting iRacing 3 odd years ago. So yeah, meet some great people through it, although they can be on the other side of the world. It's great to get out there and have some battles with like-minded people who are keen on going simulator racing.
Yeah, for the people out there looking to get into it, nice and easy. You don't have to have the top of the range sim gear to start off with. Just go down and buy a basic pedal set, only a couple $100 probably from any of your local stores, and yeah, that's all you need. You can get a 1-month subscription, I think, a trial, and go race in the base cars that the game gives you, which includes that MX-5 we were talking about earlier. And yeah, give it a go, and that's what I did a couple of years ago and got me hooked, so definitely go check it out.
Yeah, and we certainly plan. I've been in talks with iRacing, and we will have our very own SimSpeed TV promotional code for iRacing to get tracks and cars and whatnot at a discount rate. So keep an eye out for that. But if you are keen to sign up to iRacing, don't be afraid to message myself. You'll need to sign up to iRacing to be able to access the forums and the message section. But yeah, certainly plenty of great people in the iRacing world that are always keen to help out.
I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, mate.
Sorry.
Go on, Josh.
Oh, I'm kind of curious about what Benjamin Smith's strategy is at the moment. He's stayed out for quite a while, and he's lost a lot of time.
Yeah, it's a hard call to make if you're out leading and after all the leaders have pitted and you seem to be, or you think you're doing your consistent times still, and yeah, as you say, he is out there in the Demitov Innovations Commodore. But you know, Bo Cubis is closing in fairly quickly and has caught a bit of traffic at the moment as well. So Simon Black in front of him there, and a few others.
So Cougar Mare still looking to have internet issues. He's sitting in 7th position, but that certainly won't be making his job any easier.
It looks like Cubis now going to do the old zigzag through a few cars, trying to get around these lap ones as Simon moves over for him there. has managed to get that couple of lap traffic, and now that's allowed him to probably get about a car back on that lead. Cubis up front, but some more lap cars coming up now, so again a good opportunity for these other two guys, Ford and Rogers, there to try and make a move at some point.
Just got word from Brenton O'Brien, who's part of PRA, and he's telling us that Smithy doesn't have to pit, so Ben thinks that he can make it home on well, no stops technically.
I'll tell you what though, I'm pretty sure in this series they're going to limit his fuel, so he'll have to make a fuel stop surely, and also I'm pretty sure it's compulsory anyway, even if somehow you manage to save enough fuel to do the job kind of thing, but you never know. Not run 55 laps around here myself on this track, I can't tell you. But with the new car, they got bigger fuel tanks and everything, so we'll see how we go.
And so Ian Ford's lost touch with Joshua Rogers. Rogers has pulled out his second gap, and they're closing in fast on Bo Cubis.
So Benjamin at the moment is losing 2 seconds a lap Cubis, so even if he does stay out, I don't think he has a hope of trying to keep that lead, I would say, just for the simple fact that his tyres are going to be absolutely shot, and I would say that's what's causing him to lose so much time over these last few laps, as they've got him in his sights now.
We've seen Rogers do the fastest lap of the race with a 106.869. Bo Cubis doing a 107.047. So not much in it at all between these two guys. Joshua Rogers certainly the man to beat though in this series.
Yeah, as Cubis now closes in, he's only within about 3 or 4 car lengths. I'm sure if iRacing had a headlight feature, he would be getting the higher beams on and letting our leader know there that he's catching him the rate of knots. I think Benjamin doing a great job to even stay out there that long on these set of tyres, but you never know, he might look at pitting once these boys possibly get round him. But again, that's going to put him like mid-pack, so we'll see how this pans out in the next couple of laps. Cubis closes right in there under brakes, came for the run up on the bridge, tricky corner here, bit off camber and also a big bump just before the entry, and normally gives you a signal to turn in pretty much as you go over that bump, and another bump over the bridge.
And we're just watching this battle between Stenberg and Morris. Morris's car looking very ugly, it's all over the show. We were just riding on board with him there when he had a big moment coming onto the front straight. And he's lost a bit of time to Stenberg. So really need to be patient around this track. If you cook your tyres fast, your race is pretty much done. And this gap between Ford, Rogers and Cubis is closed right up.
Yeah, they both had a bit of a wiggle coming out of that last corner, and
Rogers is going to look to
yeah.
make him have a look up into turn 2. Ford's right behind Rogers there now.
That was
Lap
excellent
traffic's lining
4-car
them
battle.
up. Cuba's taking the defensive line up the inside. Oh, contact
Oh, and he
between a
squeezed
lap
past
car.
him in contact, dude. Oh,
So,
Benjamin Smith there.
that's disappointing. Hopefully it didn't look too hard between Rogers and the lap car. But then Ford's right at the back of Rogers now. Bit of a gap's opened up to Cubis because of that lap car getting in the way, which certainly can be a frustrating thing when you do iRace in these long events. Lap cars can play a big part in sort of how your race can end up. We have an amazing shot. Sorry mate, as we have an amazing shot coming onto the front straight, sitting on the pit wall there, and Rogers nearly touching it with his wing mirror.
I was going to say that was Benjamin Smith that those boys passed, and he was the one that actually hasn't still pitted yet, so was technically still running first at the time, so that battle was for a genuine lead, hence why he fought that a bit more than normal.
Yes, okay, my mistake there. Oh, contact between Ford and Rogers. So Rogers around now. So, oh, that's got to disappoint you. So,
yeah, Ford's car not looking good there either.
Oh, that's disappointing for Ford and Rogers. Ford just pulling it up on the grass.
Oh yeah, Ford a bit ambitious there, I think.
So Rogers now, so Bo Cubis, he doesn't need to do much to win this race from this point. He can relax now and just have clean and consistent laps.
Oh, just behind Ian Ford there, I just noticed Simon Black having a huge right out sideways moment coming out of the bridge. He did save it, but yeah.
And we might just go back and have a look at that. Of Simon getting sideways.
Yeah, that was nice. I'll give him an 8 out of 10 for that effort.
Unfortunately missed it. I am going to go back and have a look at that though. Oh, just caught it on camera. Big sideways moment. Might even have a onboard ride for that one, I think.
Yeah, I think possibly he might have got a little bit distracted by the smoke from the earlier incident with Ford and that, and just as he come over that bump there on the exit of the bridge, he's stepped out of the car. But yeah, quite a good save and looked quite good for the cameras.
Yeah, good on you, Simon, mate. Look, by Cubis, he's sitting just in front of Benjamin Smith. Bit of a gap from Smith to Rogers, so depending on how Rogers' car and then Ford's car are, could be quite possible that Benjamin Smith could finish up in second place if he managed to make it home on without making a stop. So
Yeah, I mean, if he
7-second gap between those two.
I was going to say, if he can do it, it'd be a fair effort.
Yes, there is a 2-second gap between, so still got 13 laps to go in this 55 lap race around Oran Park Grand Prix circuit. It always brings thrills and spills, this series. We've just seen Rogers and Ford make contact Ford looking very racy on the back of Rogers. Probably a bit ambitious with his move. Need to be really smart with your moves around here. There's not too many passing opportunities, but they've had contact and spun around. Rogers will still extend his lead even if he finishes in third position. Ian Ford will certainly close the gap between those two. Michael Cracknell, he's sitting in fifth. He's certainly in the hunt for a series win. If you want to continue on from there, Broxy.
I was just going to mention, guys, have we discussed the possibility of saving fuel and not having to pit in this race? As Benjamin Smith still running around in second, yet to pit, and only 12 laps remaining.
Yeah, Brenton O'Brien just said before about, it must have been 10 laps ago, that's Benjamin Smith's strategy, but Brenton doesn't have much faith in his strategy and says that he won't make it home, so we'll see who's wrong and who's right here.
Okay.
Yeah, we they had a bit of an altercation. I think you were just away for that, Brooksy, but when the second, third and fourth caught up to him and had a little bit of an altercation just before the bridge, but nothing too bad. But yeah, as you say, he dropped back to fourth, and then with that incident that we were just talking about, Fonte was making light of, that he got that back to second position. So yeah, he'll do well if he finishes in second place there, and might be a good strategy. Might try it out in the official series later on this week.
So as we look at the top 10, and we've got Bo Cubis sitting on 1, Benjamin Smith, he's on 2, can he make it home is another question. Joshua Rogers in 3rd after his contact with Ian Ford, who's sitting in 4th. Michael Cracknell in 5th, Kurt Stenberg in 6th, Matt Morris following closely behind in 7th, Ryan O'Sullivan in 8th, Adam Zittinger in 9th, and Brenton Hobson in 10th. So we've got 11 laps to go in this race. I can imagine these boys will be pretty tired. You don't get much of an opportunity to rest around this track.
No, definitely not. Even that main straight's like fairly long, but you've got to concentrate so much on your exit out of the final corner, and then your entry in that kink can catch you unaware very quickly. As I said, start of the race, you can run quite wide there if you're not careful. And yeah, and everywhere else is technical as anything with no real back straight, so...
I was about to say the same thing. Bo Cubis is getting held up hugely here by Jeremiah Morton and Rob Tomei.
Yeah, those two battling for 12th and 13th respectively, so they have every right to keep racing there, and hopefully Cubis doesn't get too frustrated and try and push them out of the way too much.
Yeah, there was a bit of contact going into turn 1 of that lap, but looked like Bo just misjudged how slow they slowed down for the turn.
Yeah, it can be frustrating when you catch, as Fonte was making light of before, when you do catch some lap cars, especially when they are in a bit of a battle like this, where they are obliged to get out of the way. They are showing blue. Oh, that's probably not on, as he's run into the back of both of them. But yeah, you should just respect that they're having a race, and when you can, to be able to get around them without having to make contact like he just did then into 1.
In saying that, it's a great battle that Robbie and Jeremiah are having for 11th and 12th. Racing very cleanly, the pair of them, so it's good to see, and got a chance of getting into the top 10, both these guys, so done a terrific job.
Yeah, both did well there. And with that little contact into turn one there, to keep racing and not let it get to them. So yeah, as you say, they have been having a good battle now for the last 5 or 6 laps, I believe. So yeah.
Because Jeremiah Morton gridded up position 31.
Yeah, I tell you what, he's been one to watch lately. He has had a lot of good results in this series and the official, and he's found some real pace lately after joining that team. So yeah, good to see him getting out there and getting some good results. And I believe he may have got a top 10 right at the start of the season. So yeah, good to see.
So guys, there as we just saw Benjamin Smith get overtaken for second position. So he's back in third, looking like a very unsettled car, to be honest, as he has done 41 laps on one set of tyres. The other guy's making a stop around lap 20 to 25, but can he make it home is the next question.
Yeah, he might have got a cut track there. He did cut that chicane quite a bit as he comes onto the main straight now, but it doesn't look too bad. It looks like he's staying in it, so no cut track there. Very easy to get one up over that blind corner. Yeah, so 7 laps to go, lap 48 at the moment that the boys are on, and race has gone pretty quick, just under the hour mark at the moment. So yeah, 55 laps, the boys will be definitely having a sweat on, and concentration levels might be starting to drop a bit now.
Ian Ford's lost a lot of time somewhere. He was running fourth and should only be a few seconds behind Ben Smith, but he's now fifth and a couple seconds behind Mick Cracknell.
Oh, guys, I've got Simon Black. He's had a big shunt in the wall just before he's headed up over the bridge. We saw him get very loose there earlier in the race, and the car stepped sideways on him. He's tried to correct it, and he's collected the wall pretty heavily.
Oh yeah, he's done the big high side as you would on a motorcycle almost. Counter steered one way and it's flicked back on him the other.
Yeah, and Kurt Stenberg was following closely behind, and he had a big moment coming up to go past Simon, and the battle between him and Matt Morris is certainly getting on here, as we've just seen Morris go past Kurt Stenberg.
Yeah, Morris had a good run at him after that bridge as Stenny had a bit of a moment, as you say, following Simon around there and allowed him to get past. Yeah, Ian Ford had a 1:17 on lap 45, so he must have had a fairly large drama there. That's what's cost him his couple of spots back down to 5th.
Yeah, looking at the replay on my screen, it looks like he just had a moment going through the S's and just cut down to the infield.
So that moves Michael Cracknell up to 3rd now as he gets past Benjamin Smith.
Yeah, those tyres now for Benjamin look absolutely shot, and as we predicted a little bit earlier, that he's going to struggle later parts of the race, and camera's just on him now. So yeah, that car just looking a bit loose, and Ford, smelling blood in the water, will be very keen to get these positions back. as he looks up the inside now and makes an easy pass onto the main run downhill here, back into turn 1 and the kink. I guess that's a risk you take when you fuel save and not pit stop, and the whole field does. Yes, there's a lot of positions to be made up if you don't pit, but yeah, it can turn around and bite you later on in the race like this, where your tyres just absolutely shot.
Yeah, it's not a track particularly suited for fuel saving. You really want tracks where there's big, long, heavy braking zones, and this track is more of a finesse sort of braking application. So yeah, it would be a hard track to save a lot of fuel on.
So as we look at the top 10 with 4 laps to go, and we've got Cubis in 1, Rogers 12 seconds behind in 2, Cracknell another 11 seconds behind him in 3, Ian Ford in 4th, Benjamin Smith, who has done a brave move and done the whole race distance on 1 set of tyres, and we question whether or not he's going to be able to make it home now. Matt Morris sitting in 6th, Kurt Stenberg sitting in 7th, Ryan O'Sullivan in 8th, Adam Zittinger in 9th, and Brenton Hobson rounding out your top 10.
I wonder if it's not even the tyres that are going off, but he has to go this slow to save this much fuel to make it home, and that's why he's losing so much time, because like 10 laps ago he was running in the 9s quite comfortably.
Yeah, he's just lost another 2 positions to Stenberg and Morris, who has slipped on past. Gonna relegate Smith back down to 7th.
Marty Atkins sitting in 17th with a bonnetless Commodore. He's 1 lap down, so we've got 10 cars on the lead lap. So it just shows on a small track like this, it doesn't take long for these front guys to come past you if you're down the field a bit.
Yeah, and Brenton Hobson now goes a lap down to Bo Cubis. Not a bad drive from Brenton Hobson, from 26 on the grid up into 10th position.
Yes, as we just look at the gains, and Matt Morris, he started in 14th, he's up to 5th, so good run by him. Brendan Hobson moved up 16 positions, and Jeremiah Morton moved up 19. Robbie Thomas has moved up 18, and Matt Jones 12. Bruce Kelly 10. Simon Tennant, he started 33rd, and he's moved up 13th positions and now is sitting in 20th.
Yeah, Robbie Thorne and Morton here are having a great battle after you just mentioned that. Those 2 guys making up a lot of positions, as you say, and that battle's still raging on. They got quite close there, and Jeremiah got the pass done just in that lap as you were speaking. So yeah, these 2 having a ding-dong of a battle, as you would say.
Yeah, the pair of them have really been at each other for a large portion of the race. They've started 31 and 29 respectively, so they've moved their way through the field together. Sort of cruise with these 2 guys, Morton and Tomei and Brenton Hobson. If you can just keep it clean, you're going to pick up quite a few positions on the tight, twisty circuits.
for 5th and 6th. He's heading right up. We've got Stenberg looking for every opportunity possible to get past Matt Morris. Showed his nose a few times there, but Morris keeping a cool head and keeping him behind.
There are some interesting tactics going on by ERA here. Seems like Sean Evans is taking his race and has given himself the job of pushing Benjamin Smith on the straights to help with fuel consumption.
Of course, that's we've had the win. Bo Cubis has crossed the finish line and taken a checkered flag.
And all that we missed out on the lead, on the win. So Bo Cubis has won the race, and Joshua Rogers has finished in 2nd. Michael Cracknell finished 3rd, so well done to him. Ian Ford in 4th. He was certainly looking like he was in a position to win the race, but that contact with Rogers a few laps back ended his chances there. Kurt Stenberg, he finished in 6th. Matt Morris finished just in front of him in 5th, so well done to Morris. Ryan O'Sullivan in 7th. Adam Zittinger in 8th. Benjamin Smith in 9th. Brenton Hobson running out your top 10.
And over the page, it went to that great battle between Jeremiah Morton and Robbie Tomei in 11th and 12th. Matt Jones coming 13th, Keeley 14th, Michael Hammond 15th, Michael Talajenkic in 16th, Marty Atkins 17th, 18th went to Simon Black. Sean Evans come home in 19th and 20th went to Simon Tennant.
As we look over the page again, in 21st we have Joshua Cook, Brendan King in 22nd, Jake Blackhall in 23rd, Kugamiya 24th, Jason Dixon 25th, Jake Maloney finished 26th, Michael Ford finished 27th. He was 30 laps down, so all of these guys pretty much ending their race from sort of 21st onwards. Michael Ford in 27th, Tyson Williams in 28th, Jason Bentz in 29th, and Mitchell Selak rounding out your top 30.
Yeah, definitely an exciting race tonight with plenty of action and even over 55 laps down there. Such a short track creates a lot of passing opportunities and as we saw tonight, a lot of action.
Yeah, well it was. We were treated to a good race. Disappointing to see Rogers and Ford have contact, but that is racing and we can expect that. But good to see everyone having a bit of fun out there tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure Ford will take a look back at that and maybe see that he could have done something slightly different. But again, as you say, it's just a bit of racing, and I would say it was just a racing incident overall. But I'm sure they'll all pick it up and get on with the rest of the week and then on to next week.
Yes, so we'll just wait for hopefully some drivers to come in. We've only just posted up our credentials for the TeamSpeak channel, so it may take a little while for some guys to come in and have a chat. Certainly some good racing tonight.
Wait, but I'm going to have to leave you guys to the interviews. Early start tomorrow morning, and yeah, enjoyed the broadcast tonight, and look forward to next week. And also competing in the 24-hour Daytona this weekend as well, so my Saturday, Sunday is taken up, or Saturday night. I've been given the job of lead driver for the first stint, and I'll be doing a midnight stint, and I think the last stint on the Sunday. So yeah, definitely looking forward. I love my enduro racing with the new teams events that iRacing's bringing out. So yeah, definitely one to watch.
Yep, certainly will be. I certainly plan to jump in and have a skid myself for the Daytona 24 hour. Long event being 24 hours certainly takes it out of you. You need to have, you know, a few guys there who are ready to commit for a complete day. But yeah, certainly a good event to watch and take part. So that will start this Saturday, and that has been streamed from RRTV. Bernie Wimmers will be covering that series.
Yeah, and it's 7 PM Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Standard Time. For you guys in New Zealand, will be a bit later, I believe, because you guys are 3 hours ahead, I think, from memory. So yeah, and obviously just check your local guides in your area. But yeah, it should be good. I think I'm going to jump up, and was talking to Bernie about doing a bit of an in-car chat while I'm driving around. So yeah, if you just want to tune in and see if I don't fence it while I'm talking to everyone, that'd be good.
Oh, good luck in it, mate. We'll see you out on track.
Yeah, definitely. Do the first enduro with the new team, and yeah, enjoyed the enduros last year. Did the 24-hour Spa with the team, and I think we ended up finishing top 5, I believe, in the official one, and we're a bit down in the AEC one, but we had no driver for about 4 hours in the morning, so we've got a proper roster set up now, and everyone seems to have committed, so should be a bit more of an effort in the 217 in the DP class. Anyway, I'll stop blowing my own horn and head off. I'll leave you guys to it, and hopefully get some drivers up here shortly for a chat.
Yeah, well, thanks for joining us tonight. Look, mate, we really appreciate you coming on board and giving us a hand. So, yes, thank you from us, and we look forward to seeing you on track this weekend for the Daytona event and further commentaries to come.
Yeah, no problem, boys, and thanks a lot for having me up here, and I will catch you guys next week.
Cool. Thanks.
See you, mate.
So we haven't had any drivers come up for a chat with us as of yet. We will give it a few more minutes. We're just putting the credentials up for the TeamSpeak, the SimSpeed TV TeamSpeak channel. So, yep, we do have one driver who has signed up, and Joshua Rogers. It'll be good to have a chat with him. Also, Kurt Stenberg will be joining us. We'll just pull Rogers up now. Joshua Rogers, Fonty here, mate. Good result tonight. Still extended your championship lead. Bit of contact there with Ian Ford. Can you explain to us sort of what happened there, mate?
Yeah, thanks guys. Honestly, I think it's probably was more impatience than anything, but it was just coming in from I might have been a little bit wide, but yeah, he came from a long way back. His car definitely wasn't going to fit through the gap and tagged me, but he did do the right thing by slowing up and letting me through. But yeah, it would have been nice for the three of us to be able to tag though, instead of letting that happen, considering we both had pace over him. But yeah, a little bit disappointing, but all in all, still a great race, still finished second and extended points, so yeah, I'm still happy with that.
Yeah, well done for that, mate. You've certainly been the class of the field for the series so far, and you and your team are working really well to bring a fast car to the racetrack, so well done from me. How did you find the race tonight? 55 laps around such a small track. You didn't really get an opportunity to have breaks in such a way. Did it all work out for you well?
Yeah, definitely a track being as tight as it is. There's never really any opportunities whatsoever when it comes to trying to pass someone, unless you kind of pressure them into a bit of a mistake, which I think happened a few times. But yeah, no, great race. Fairly long, even though it's a short lap time, and actually time-wise not that long of a race. It definitely felt like an eternity. So, yeah, definitely not a bad race. Although when it came to pit strategy, we were actually talking about it the whole time, and ended up looking on my relative box and saw that Bo actually wasn't with us anymore and he'd pitted. So we were planning on extending it a little bit longer, but yeah, no, we had to react to that, and the undercut definitely worked out for him.
Yeah, it certainly did, mate. He drove a great race, and I was certainly sort of waiting to see what was gonna sort of happen with you guys catching him ever so slightly. I have to say, mate, that would have to be the most perfect start I've ever seen someone do in a V8 Supercar, is what you did tonight, and I showed that in the replay, mate. You really got it off the line well, and no wheel spin at all, and moved up from third to first in the first corner.
Yeah, I was honestly really surprised about that. Actually, I was wooting and cheering. I never really get very good starts, but yeah, no, that was definitely highlight of the race for me.
Yeah, well, it certainly would have been a 4.5 second start in real life racing. So well done. Anyone you'd like to thank while you're up here tonight?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank TTL for their help with doing setups and whatnot. Richard for spotting for me tonight. That really helped. I never would have had much strategy, considering I actually had dinner about 5 minutes before the race. So yeah, that was a bit tight. But yeah, thanks to Pagnian as well. They've got some really good rigs on their website at pagnian.com or pagnianimports.com.au. So yeah, if you're looking for some gear, definitely check those guys out.
Yes, well, thanks for joining us tonight, mate. We look forward to seeing what you can bring to us next week. Certainly the gap's closed up a little bit this week from the pace that you've had, and Ford certainly gave you a run for your money. Slightly impatient there, but that's all part of racing. Rubbing's racing. And good to see you guys out there having a red hot go at it. So thanks for joining us, mate, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Ian Ford, welcome to SimSpeed TV's commentary box. Not quite the race result that you're after there. You certainly had the pace to win the race. You had good track position there. And yeah, sort of maybe we're a little bit too impatient with your move. But that's all part of racing, and good on you for having a go, mate. How did the race go for you?
Oh, from the whole start, it was pathetic. You know, we basically just sat there on the line, just wheel spinning, me and Bo, for about 10 seconds from what it felt like. And Josh got through the middle there, and then from then on, it was just trying to race cleanly as I could with Josh, and you know, trying to poke the nose up the inside and open a gap if I could, and didn't get it done, but managed to get ahead of him in the pit stop. And I think around about lap 25, I got half turned around, and that pretty much did the car in. It absolutely had a wobble on acceleration after that, and you know, after that just tried getting up there and saw an opportunity, and because he was sliding wide that corner every time, and you know, just didn't work out. Awesome. I'd just like to thank Bo and SDC and everyone. Like, you know, they've put in so much effort this week considering how little they practice, and it's good to see them up the front again. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, well, good to see you giving Rogers a run for his money. You had a great qualifying there, and yeah, we were just covering it earlier. What a great start from Joshua Rogers, straight up the guts of both you guys. Certainly something which is quite important in one of these supercars is getting it off the line. But no, you did a great job tonight. How did the car sort of go in such a way?
It was just working. It was working quite nicely. I wasn't really burning up the tyres or anything in the whole first stint. I was just sitting there waiting for a gap to open and just try and run away with it. And Bo pitted a bit early, so everyone had to react to that. And after that, I started getting the foot down until I got turned around. And after that, it didn't really come back to me because I overheated the tyres pretty well. And it just started wobbling and driving like a crazy fool.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Oh well, good effort tonight, and you certainly bring your championship points up there. You are coming into this round sitting in third, so the gap between you and Cracknell will certainly be closing. Is there anyone you'd like to thank tonight while you're in the commentary box?
Mainly just you guys for putting in the time and effort to put the broadcast on. I'm sure heaps of people appreciate it as they watch it like during the week, and even if there's not that many watching live now, it's like it's going to grow in the future because this is such a good series when everyone's racing cleanly, and hopefully that gets sorted out for next week, and everyone resets and goes again.
Yeah, well, we certainly put a lot of effort into bringing this coverage to you guys. Anyone who would sort of share and get people to subscribe to the YouTube channel would be much appreciated. So you'll find Sim Speed TV on YouTube and Facebook. So if you can share us, that would be much appreciated. So thanks for joining us in the commentary box tonight, 40 mate. That was a good race, and we look forward to next week's race, in which we're coming to you from the Zolder circuit. So are you quite familiar with that track?
Yeah, it's probably one of the hardest tracks that we actually go to because it's got the fourth or fifth gear last chicane where it's just basically just throw it in, hope it sticks on both direction changes, and then you've got like the big chicane at about turn 3 or 4. That's an absolute beast to try and get over in this car, and then you've got the flat chicane, so it's so many different technical aspects to set the car up around there, so it'll produce quite tight racing because there's not many chances to overtake, but it is absolutely going to be one of the hardest places for us to actually race and set up a car for.
Yeah, well, we look forward to all the action that will unfold for us next week when we bring you this broadcast at the same time. So thanks for joining us in the commentary box tonight, 40, and we look forward to seeing you out there next week. Kid Stenberg, nice race tonight, mate. You finished up 6th. You've got to be happy with your finishing position. Slightly lost it there to Matt Morris, but good drive from yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Fonty. It's good to actually finish in a decent position. I've had 3 terrible weeks of finishing in the 20s or not finishing at all. So, yeah, it was good to be back in the top 10.
Yeah, you did really good. You've had a lot of pace in previous weeks and just haven't managed to quite keep it together. So well done on your 6th place finish tonight. I think that would be possibly your highest place finish for this season so far.
Yeah, it is. It's the highest that I've managed to finish so far this season, so it's good. Hopefully we can see a bit more of that though. So I was quite happy with how the car felt tonight and how I went, and yeah.
No, it was really good, and it's good to see this battle that is always shaping up for between you and Matt Morris. You guys are pretty inseparable on the track for previous weeks, so good to see you guys keeping it clean and giving us good coverage to film and put out there. Is there anyone you'd like to thank tonight while you're up here in the commentary box?
I'm gonna thank Matt Ross Monroe for being a spotter and for a setup. So yeah, and I'm gonna thank Josh Burden as well. They're the only people I want to thank.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Well, thanks for joining us in the box tonight, and we look forward to next week's circuit, which is Zolder. Have you personally had many opportunities to drive the Zolder track?
I haven't driven Zolder for quite a long time, but yeah, I have driven it a few times before, probably about, I don't know, a year ago. And yeah, I quite like it. It's a bit like Montreal, and yeah, it sort of suits my driving style. So I like the chicanes and all the rest of it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting there.
Yeah, cool, mate. Well, keep up the good effort. You're certainly improving over the season. So, well done from me. And we will look forward to covering some of your race footage next week.
Yeah, I look forward to the race. It should be good. Thanks for the broadcast.
No worries, mate. So, well, that rounds us up for tonight. We brought you coverage for round 6 of the Oceanic Sim Racing V8 Supercar Series. And it was certainly a great race. Bo Cubis, who hasn't made an entry into the series so far this season, he managed to win the race. Back to Josh Rogers and Michael Cracknell, they rounded out your podium. So well done to those boys. Driver of the night, guys.
You definitely have to go with Cubis, mate. There was those 3 guys at the back end of the top 10 who made up good 20-25 positions. Outstanding from them, but the way Cubis pitch strategy played out, and then was able to hold his nerve and walk away with it in the end, I think it has to go to him.
Yeah,
I definitely agree.
Completely agree, guys. So, well done, Bo Cubis. Thank you for coming on and being part of the series. You drove a great race tonight, and we hope to see you at the next round next week at Zolder. So, from all the guys here in SimSpeed TV, Brooksy, myself, Josh Noack, and Luke Emerton tonight, we have brought you tonight's coverage of the Oceanic Sim Racing V8 Supercar Series. And until next week, where we join you at Zolder, thank you for joining us, and good night.